Hey everybody, Matthew here with MEB Pod. Today we are doing another episode. I believe it's like 14 or something, which I'm really looking forward to getting this out there. I do apologize to all the fans out there. I was running a little late on this week because I got a little busy back here at home. Um, so we're just gonna kind of continue. Might pop on a day late, and then next Tuesday we'll get another episode out, and hopefully, it just can, it's all about consistency. So hopefully I can continue doing that. At the end of the day, it's just gonna be a regular episode, pretty short and sweet. Looking forward to, pushing more short form content out every day. Hopefully you all are enjoying them. At the end of the day, I'm looking forward to playing more golf, improving that aspect of the game, improving the camera like angles, and getting more long form content like the podcast, and hopefully more live, or not live, but content out there on the course as well. If anyone wants to join along in some content out on the course, you let me know. If you're in the South Florida area, or if any of my followers are listening, want to get out there and play, we don't have to film all 18 holes. We could film 3 holes, post it on the internet, do whatever we got to do with it. I'll do my best with the editing part too, and putting the tracers and all that kind of good stuff. Um, so we'll kind of dive right in. It's like I said, it's going to be nice and short and sweet. We'll do a birdie. My birdie today, or for this week, would be, just the rise in subscribers and followers I've seen on over the past week in on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. It's incredible. I kind of, honestly used to poke fun at some of these content creators out there and thought there was nothing in it, and it's how it's kind of lame and whatever, but I've really kind of grown into enjoying it, and I like doing this. I'm not 100% confident in it, but at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to pushing more and more out and seeing my, I guess, brand. I don't know if that's what you want to call it, grow. I like having these guests on over the past couple of weeks. That's always, enjoyable, trying to meet, or being able to meet some of these new people from, Wisconsin to Michigan. Obviously, I've had my father, and in the future we're going to have some other guests too, so looking forward to that. I would like to eventually have a live in-person guest in the I guess you call this a studio. It's my couch in my apartment, but we're moving forward. We'll eventually end up getting a studio one of these days. Maybe we'll end up getting a professional setup and everything here, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm staying consistent, that's all that matters. um, but yeah, this is kind of the rise in growth in the followers, and on my end is, it's a very positive thing to look at, um, because I remember yesterday I had 3 followers on YouTube, and I think it was my mom and dad, and then like someone from work, and it's not like that anymore. I've got people from all over the country, from all over the world, actually, which is pretty impressive. That for whatever reason, my content, my podcast, my little reels have reached out to the whole world. Um, Now it's not to the status of like some of these other content creators that, I hope to be one day, but not, I don't want to be just like them. I want to be in my own unique, whatever creative way. And we're still kind of working on figuring out what that might look like, but at the end of the day, this is what we have today. And hopefully we can find a little niche and go with it, and, show the world what, I have to offer. But so yeah, that's kind of my birdie today. But we are gonna kind of go in with the double bogey. Of course, you got, not every week is perfect, not everything is fine and dandy, but so I was able to oh, I guess, I mean, I don't really have a double bogey, but I guess if I had to throw one out there, I mean, I have to, obviously I've got a few problems with well, not obviously, but I got some teeth uh that need to be fixed. I have to go to the dentist, and then, they handed me the bill for it, and what it might look like if I were to fix everything. And that was a little pricier than I I guess I could have imagined, but at the end of the day, we gotta fix the mouth and make sure everything up here is healthy, and so that'll be a process. So I'm not really looking forward to the whole dentist for the next 3 years or whatever the heck, however long it's going to take. I'm just making that number up, but at the end of the day, I mean, everyone's got to do it, and got to look forward to getting it all finished and cleaned up. So. I mean, I know that has nothing to do with golf or sports or anything that this golf podcast is focused about, but this is MEB Pod, so this is my podcast, and it could be a little more or less about me too sometimes, I guess. But with that being said, we'll kind of dive into a little bit of we have the Internet Invitational, what literally starts today. I think they're out there playing right now. I don't know officially when it's going to be posted. But this might break YouTube. I'm really kind of confident in what this Internet Invitational by Barstool and Dave Portnoy and Bob Does Sports is going to do. It is going to be one of the biggest YouTube videos of all time, I think, or series, I guess. I think not just in the YouTube golf world, but overall YouTube. I think there is such a fan base for the Barstool people. And then obviously Bob Does Sports kind of more or less focuses on golf, but he also has the Brilliantly Dumb show, which with obviously Joey Coldcuts and Mikey V, who is not going to be at the Internet Invitational. Um, I have currently been seeing them kind of posting all their content over the past couple of days of them arriving to Big Cedar Lodge, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, originally I live about 2 hours away from Big Cedar Lodge, and I don't know why I've never been. I used to live 2 hours away from it and I never went. I guess I really more or less kind of got into the game of golf over the last couple of years, and um, but at the end of the day, next time I'm home, maybe not next time, but the time after, I'll try to make a little trip out there and play a couple rounds at Big Cedar Lodge. That would be really neat. So, um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to what the Internet Invitational is going to have to offer. That's going to be an incredible thing. If you want to we're going to get into a little more YouTube golf. The series, the Good, $1 versus $10,000 travel series from Colorado to Idaho. Series just ended. That was an unbelievable series too. If you're into the YouTube golf world, I really kind of stopped watching Good Golf for 2 months probably, and they released this. And I mean, I don't get me wrong, if it was on, I watched it, but like I kind of like lost it. You know, I really didn't like any of the content they were really putting out as much as they used to until they released this, and I just jumped right in, and it was unbelievable. They did a 2v2v2. It was Sean and Bubby versus Brad and Steve, and then Garrett and Matt. Now that the loser, the third place, they played each day in a different state, and whoever came in first got this real nice luxury RV with like all the amenities and whatever, blah blah blah. And then whoever came in second kind of got a mid-tier level RV, and then whoever came in last got the what they called the Schnook. It was like a 1990, and it was like a old beat down. It barely worked, it turned no air conditioning, kind of, it was like they were having to play for something. And it was kind of neat to see, and they were really competitive, and all the matches were pretty much close. I know if I'm not going to spoil it, but I do highly recommend it. It just ended. They did play at some very beautiful courses. They were able to get to the island hole at Coeur d'Alene in Idaho, which was really neat to see because that is one of my bucket list courses. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see, a different perspective. They kind of vlogged their nights and where they stayed and everything too, which was really neat. You don't get to see that part of the YouTube golf world. You more or less just see them on the course and how they're playing. But you got to see kind of their personal lives more personable. It was really cool to see that. Um, we've got NFL season and college football season coming up. Obviously, I work in we see, I mean, I live in Miami, so I see a bunch of the college students moving in, traveling back. They got a big game against the Irish here in a couple, maybe not this weekend, next weekend, 2 weeks or something. Um, so I'm looking forward to college football season. Never really played football, but I've always enjoyed the game, and so looking forward to college football and the NFL here starts in a couple weeks. I will be attending week one, 49ers versus Seahawks up in Seattle. So that will be I haven't really been to too many football stadiums. I've been to the Dolphins, been to the Chiefs, and I've been to the Rams and when they were in St. Louis, and then now we'll be attending the Seahawks, which is one of the bigger, loudest stadiums in the NFL, which I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be a nice little change of pace, for me because I'll be able to see some week one football where everyone's healthy and it's going to be a nice, I think it should be a pretty good game. I mean, I think the 49ers are probably favored just because of I think everyone on their team's back. I don't think, it should be, I don't know, it should be a good game regardless. I don't really care who wins. I guess I'll be rooting for the Seahawks because, I got to root for the home team. But MLB, you've got the Milwaukee Brewers are just unbeatable. I don't know what the heck's going on with them. The Cardinals take a couple from, the Cubbies and then lose to the Rockies. So, I mean, their roller coaster season continues. Um, doesn't look good because there's only about a month or so, well, month and a half left of the regular season. But hopefully, of course, I know myself, I'm going to keep watching and having faith with what they have or what they're doing. I think they could still potentially get out there and put a little run in. We'll see though, So at the end of the day, it's just a game, and I'm out there to just enjoy it. But is some big news out there in the UFC world. I am not the biggest UFC fan, but for those who are, I highly recommend trying to get Paramount Plus within the next before the end of the year. I believe from what I've heard and rumor has it, I believe Dana White and Paramount had signed a contract for about 7 years, and I don't know how many $1 billion for it. But all of his pay-per-view fights, so all the big fights, are going to be on Paramount Plus now. You will not have to pay per view. You'll have to just have a subscription to Paramount Plus, and you'll be able to catch the biggest and baddest fights there are. Now that that is a thing, I think that'll get so many more people into UFC, just because people like myself, I don't even have Paramount Plus yet, but if I did and it's on, I'm more than likely to turn it on as opposed to paying $80 for one fight. I'll pay $10 a month or whatever it is, so I mean, normally there's a fight, one big fight a month. So if you're looking at it that way, you're paying $40 a month for that one fight as opposed to 80, plus you get all the whatever bonuses that Paramount offers. So that is big news in the UFC world. Not that I'm gonna really get too much into UFC much, unless of course there might be a big fight. And maybe I don't know, who knows, I'll get into it and a couple months down the road I'm starting that's like what this is focused on. Who knows, um so looking forward to kind of getting into the swing of things and getting ready for Seattle. Really looking forward to that. That's kind of my main focus now is just to get through these next couple of weeks and then head up to Seattle and play a good round of golf and hopefully get some good content on course and get some good pictures and videos and of course bring back some good memories here to Miami and just looking forward to spit couple more of these out before I go. Now I believe I will be up there in Seattle on a Tuesday, so I might even be able to record an episode on a Tuesday in Seattle. Now, if you have any recommendations where I should film it, I mean, I'll probably end up just filming in the hotel room or whatever, just because that'll be the most the easiest. But at the end of the day, if I need to, I mean, I would like to film it somewhere like Chambers Bay or something, but um, make it real pretty or whatever. But I don't know how much time I'll have, and but we will do our best to try to do something cool up in Seattle with good content. At least try to maybe I'll go to Pike's Market or whatever and start throwing the fish around. I'll have someone up there doing that with me or what. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm just here to keep pushing these out. Bobby Fairways told me his biggest pet peeve, didn't tell me personally, but his biggest pet peeve is people who start these podcasts and stop. And I could have easily just said, "Oh, I missed it Tuesday yesterday, so I'm not consistent. I might as well just stop doing it. I'm not good at this, da da da," and get all down on myself like I normally do. But I'm not letting that happen this time. So we're just gonna keep going with this, and hopefully, again, like I know I've mentioned in the past, whatever amount of podcasts I've done, uh, guests, help with editing, that kind of stuff. If you want to get out there on the course with me, of course, happy to play with whoever, if you've never played the game of golf or, you want to get out there and learn. I know I'm not very good either, so don't feel embarrassed or whatever. If you just get out there and play, and that's just got to go with what you can do, So, well, anyways, I know I'm not going to really do a top five today just because I do got to get going here soon. But thank you all so much for listening. I love all the support. If I didn't see those subscribers this week, who knows if I would have done an episode. Just seeing the fact that the people are, um, watching my little reels, and I've get very little views on my podcast, on my episodes, but my long form, I guess, more or less is the best way to describe it, is a little discouraging. But at the same time, I saw my shorts were very not many people were watching those at the beginning, so that was very discouraging. But I just kept going and going and going, and now I'm getting 10, 30, 40. I got one a short that's 3 million now. So it's like, I mean, wow, it's incredible to me. And I'm excited to keep pushing these little longer form videos out. And eventually these will get out there a little more. And then eventually this is going to be, it's going to be a real deal podcast here in the next 6 months. So, like I said, I'm gonna keep pushing these out. Thank you all for listening. I hope that you all can tune into next week's episode. I'm gonna have something a little more prepared as opposed to this week because I don't think I'm gonna be as busy. I'm gonna make sure I have a script, or not a script, but more or less just an outline of what I want to talk about next time. So, thank you all so much for listening. Appreciate you coming out.